Today, we are talking about a motorcycle that didn't just enter a category, it basically tore up the rule book and started over. This is the incredible story of the BMW S1000RR. And that's the real head-scratcher here, isn't it? Before 2009, when you thought of a BMW motorcycle, you probably pictured a big, comfy touring bike, right? Maybe one of those classic boxer engines. You definitely didn't think of a screaming, track-devouring superbike. So how did a brand known for its cushy sedans suddenly unleash one of the most dominant sport bikes the world had ever seen? You've got to picture the superbike scene back then. For decades, it was a kingdom ruled by the Japanese giants: Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki. They had it down to a science. Honestly, it felt like there was just no room for a new player, especially not a German company known for its, well, quirky and reliable road bikes. But see, here's the kicker. BMW wasn't just trying to build another bike for the showroom. The S1000RR was a homologation special. All that fancy term means is that for them to go racing in the World Superbike Series, the rules said they had to build and sell at least 1,000 of these things to the public. So this wasn't dipping a toe in the water, it was a full-on cannonball off the high dive. And man, when that first-generation S1000RR landed, it wasn't just good. It was an absolute earthquake. It completely reset everyone's expectations for what a superbike could be right from day one. The real shockwave, though, was the electronics. Race-tuned ABS and dynamic traction control as standard features? That was completely unheard of at the time. This wasn't just about going faster. It was about making a nearly 200 horsepower machine manageable and, safer for us mortals on the street. Plus, offering an optional quick shifter from the factory, they basically put pro-level race tech in the hands of everyday riders overnight. And then there was the power, 193 horsepower. Now, to put that into perspective, the top dogs at the time were hovering around 180. BMW didn't just beat them, they blew their doors off. It was a jaw-dropping number that instantly made the S1000RR the most powerful bike in its class. They didn't just join the party, they kicked the door in. And you could not mistake this bike for anything else. The design was, well, it was polarizing for sure. Those asymmetrical winking headlights and the shark gill vents on the side, it was aggressive, it was unique, and it was pure BMW function over form. You either loved it or you hated it, but you absolutely noticed it. Okay, so launching a revolutionary bike is one thing, but staying on top, that's a whole different ballgame. And BMW did not sit back and relax. The next chapter for the S1000RR was all about relentless, constant improvement, just an obsessive hunt for perfection. Just check out this progression. In 2012, they fine-tuned the chassis. Then, in 2013, they drop another bomb with the Elite HP4 model, the very first production bike with semi-active electronic suspension. By 2015, they're pushing the power right up to that magic 200 horsepower mark while also shedding weight. And then came 2018, and they just unleashed something completely wild. Just let that sink in for a second. The track-only HP4 Race, a bike you could actually buy, was lighter than the purpose-built, money-is-no-object factory race bikes competing at the highest level of the sport. That's just how obsessed BMW was with pushing the limits of engineering. And this thing was rare, like really rare. They only made 750 of them for the entire planet. This wasn't for the masses. This was a statement piece, a rolling showcase of what was possible. So how in the world did they get it so light? Well, the secret sauce was a full carbon fiber frame, the first of its kind on a production BMW. At just 322 pounds dry, this bike was an absolute featherweight with a heavyweight's punch. Just mind-bending. So, after a decade of dominating and refining, what could BMW possibly do for an encore? Simple. Tear it all down and start over from a clean sheet of paper. The 2019 model was a complete and total reinvention. And the most obvious change? The wink was gone. BMW retired that iconic, love it or hate it, asymmetrical face for a sleeker, more conventional look. It was a clear signal that this wasn't just a minor update, this was a fundamental shift in the bike's identity, inside and out. Underneath all that new bodywork, the biggest news was something called shift cam. So in simple terms, the engine basically has a split personality. At lower RPMs, it uses a calmer profile for smooth, easy-to-use torque. But when you get on the throttle, it swaps over to a much more aggressive profile to unleash maximum horsepower. It's truly the best of both worlds. And the results were, well, pretty staggering. Power jumped again, this time to 207 horsepower. And even with all that complex new engine tech, the entire bike lost another 24 pounds. You know the recipe for speed: more power, less weight. And BMW absolutely perfected it. So just when you thought they had reached the absolute peak, BMW decided to borrow a trick from their legendary car division. For the very first time in history, a motorcycle was going to wear the most coveted letter in all of performance: M. And so the M1000RR was born, arriving with a frankly ridiculous 212 horsepower. This was not just an S1000RR with some fancy paint and carbon bits. Oh no, this was another full-on road-legal race bike designed with one single goal in mind: winning. It wasn't just about the peak power either. The M version's engine was packed with exotic parts, like titanium connecting rods, allowing it to scream all the way to 15,100 RPM. That is pure, race-bred engineering that you can buy right off the showroom floor. And of course, you can't miss those massive carbon fiber winglets. And trust me, they are not just for show. At high speed, they generate up to 38 pounds of downforce, literally pushing the front wheel into the pavement. That gives you incredible stability for braking and cornering. It's technology pulled directly from MotoGP. All this performance is absolutely incredible, but what does it actually take to get one of these engineering marvels into your own garage? Let's talk about the real-world cost of owning an icon. Owning a superbike means dealing with insurance, and as you can see, the rates are all over the map. Depending on your age, your record, and even who you get a quote from, the cost can swing by thousands of dollars a year. It's a pretty stark reminder that with a bike like this, the sticker price is only where the spending begins. And speaking of that sticker price, the 2025 M1000RR starts at nearly $37,000. Yeah, that's a premium price tag, no doubt about it. But when you factor in the level of race-focused engineering, all that carbon fiber, and the cutting-edge tech we just talked about, you really start to see where every single dollar goes. From being the surprise contender back in 2009 to becoming the undisputed benchmark today, the S1000RR's journey has been a true masterclass in engineering. It really makes you wonder, after more than a decade of pushing boundaries this hard, what could possibly be next? Where does the line between a road bike and a MotoGP machine finally disappear?